What's up guys, welcome back to another Black Ops Cold War video, and today's video is actually really exciting because we have some new leaks about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War regarding multiplayer and also about the campaign and stuff. So we know about the setting about the campaign, and we know about some multiplayer maps, some weapons, streaks, a whole bunch of stuff about this game. So really exciting stuff, but before we get into it, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up if you're excited for this year's game and you're enjoying all these leak videos, but let's get into it. So all this stuff is coming from the COD OG's Discord. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. You guys should definitely go and check it out because there's so much stuff on there regarding Black Ops 4 and Modern Warfare and all this different stuff. Tons of leaks on there and stuff. So make sure you guys go and check that out. All credit is from over there. So there's a screenshot posted of a conversation posted with the Gaming Revolution, another YouTuber, great YouTuber. You guys should go and subscribe to his channel. Somebody said, he said yesterday it's 100% set in the Cold War. Gaming Revolution says it will, and he says no one said anything about the future. And TGR, he replied, he says it'll be some people telling a story around 2025 about the Cold War. So to me, this sounds a whole lot like Black Ops 2. How Black Ops 2 took place in 2025. About half the story took place in 2025 with like Menendez and stuff, and then the other half of the story took place in like the 80s and stuff. And was flashbacks, and I think that was really cool the way they did that. That way it wasn't like a totally futuristic game, but also still tied into the story and stuff too. It was really good, and I enjoyed it. So it seems like that'll be about the same thing again, is that it'll be people telling a story around 2025 about the Cold War. I also think that this would also kind of be a good way for them to tie it into the Black Ops universe as well, because rather than like retconning the story and changing things around, it could also kind of be the same thing with like Frank Woods being in the vault, telling stories about the Cold War and other adventures and stuff that him and Mason went on during the Cold War. I think that'd be really cool. And yeah, so that is what we know about the setting of the game. Apparently it will take place in the future, but it's also still going to be a Cold War game. So I previously reported on this. I didn't know how that was going to work. I'm like, how is it going to be a futuristic game but take place in the Cold War? That doesn't make sense. So it will be a futuristic game, but flashbacks to the Cold War, and that's how it's going to be a Cold War game. So will we see some 2025, some futuristic missions? It's possible, but it seems like most of the game is going to take place in the Cold War, as the name would suggest. Okay, so now let's talk about multiplayer. So this was a conversation Gaming Revolution had with a leaker called the J-Man, and they talked about the current build of Black Ops Cold War, about multiplayer. And he says that there's an RCXD, a chopper gunner, a napalm strike, and an artillery strike. Those are the streaks he knows of currently. So RCXD, I feel like that's pretty standard though for a Black Ops game. We always have some version of an RCXD. We had like RCXD, then we had a Black Ops 2 one, then we had like, what is it, the HCXD in Black Ops 3, and then we also have an RCXD in Black Ops 4. Chopper gunner, pretty standard, napalm strike. Basically a lot of the same streaks and stuff as we had in like Black Ops 1. Same kind of general area and stuff. You guys know if they have kill streaks or score streaks, and there's going to be a normal minimap, are there doors, and about health regen. He says, I don't think it's decided yet, but likely score streaks, normal minimaps as of right now. So I guess what he's referring to there is minimaps that are different than Modern Warfare. How Modern Warfare, the minimap just sucks in that game because like your red dots and stuff, they don't show up on the minimap. Instead they show up on a stupid compass. So they just absolutely destroyed the minimap in Modern Warfare. So apparently it's going to be a classic Call of Duty minimap, which is great. And then he says, I'm not too sure about doors yet. I think they're doing auto health regen with stim as an option like in Modern Warfare. And he says, I don't think it's really going to seem like a Treyarch multiplayer. Apparently it's very similar to Modern Warfare, like strikingly similar, because I mean they're both taking place on the same engine, but that's one thing I like about Treyarch games. I always have liked the feel and the multiplayer in Treyarch games. They have a distinct feel and they're really smooth and fluid. But I haven't loved that about Modern Warfare. So he says here that it's going to be strikingly similar to Modern Warfare. Kind of like a reskin. It's like, wait, is this Modern Warfare? I thought about Black Ops Cold War. Why am I playing Modern Warfare? But then he says, seems like they're just trying to make it Modern Warfare without the things people didn't like. So take that as you will. I think that's kind of a disappointment. I hope Treyarch makes their own spin on it. Classic Black Ops game, not Modern Warfare. But I guess, you know, sales speak for themselves though, because Modern Warfare is a super popular and well-selling game. So if you can just try and capitalize on that and make a game that kind of builds off that, then I'm sure it's probably going to do well for sales and stuff. People who do like Modern Warfare, but I don't know, dude. I prefer Black Ops 4 and 3, 2, 1, the classic Black Ops feel over Modern Warfare. But I guess to each their own. So now let's go on to the biggest part of this video, and that is the huge multiplayer leaks that we have here. So this, once again, coming from the COD OG's Discord. So this is a summary of DK Dynamite's video about the latest leaks and stuff. So things he discussed in that video that they say in here. I'm just going to read off this whole block of text. There's no automatic healing as of right now, and he says it's subject to change most likely. There's a classic minimap is in the current build of the game, so like a classic minimap, not like Modern Warfare. He says there will be skill-based matchmaking. It'll be a free-to-play module, so most likely the Blackout portion or the Warzone portion, the Battle Royale. And he says it'll have a Battle Pass system. He says this will continue in every next COD release until they change it, of course. We've had a Battle Pass system since Black Ops 4, and then now with Modern Warfare. He says there are 5 guns in the multiplayer at the moment. So they have the Daewoo K2 Assault Rifle, this is what it looks like, a 1911 pistol, M16 assault rifle, a Colt revolver, and he says some type of AK. So that could be like an AK-47, an AK-74U, something like that, some type of AK. As for kill streaks, so this also builds off of what we just barely reported on though, is that the kill streaks, UAV, counter UAV, okay, those are pretty standard for every Call of Duty game. It's not going to be like Ghost where we have a SATCOM, it's going to be an actual UAV, counter UAV, a bomber plane that can take down other kill streaks, that's pretty cool. So maybe like kind of like a SAM turret or something like that, would be kind of interesting, it takes down other streaks. Dogs, that's sick, dude. Go back to Black Ops 1 and 2 where we have dogs going around the map, absolutely amazing. An RCXD, a chopper gunner, napalm strikes, artillery strikes, and says this information is the same as Gaming Revolution and DK's Dynamite got months ago from other builds, but it pretty much sounds like a lot of the same streaks we had from Black Ops 1, which Black Ops 1 had amazing streaks, so I don't mind. He says Ground War will be returning. There'll be 5 flags, a huge ice map with snowmobiles and tanks. It features in a frozen forest, a frozen ice lake, bunkers, a train, possibly in Vietnam, an earnable flamethrower. So hopefully the frozen forest isn't like a Black Ops 3 thing, stupid campaign. That was just trash. But I remember Gaming Revolution said a few months ago that about this whole flamethrower in this Ground War map, about it being an ice map and snow and stuff all over the place. But he's saying that the flamethrower is really, really strong and really, really powerful, and that basically whoever gets it is going to dominate the match. But that's just the current build. Of course, all this stuff is subject to change. He says maps. Most maps are 3-lane in classic Treyarch fashion, not like the cluttered and confusing layouts we see with Modern Warfare. Thank goodness. 3-lane maps can get boring at times, but I think they work the best like competitively and just in general. Like you don't have to watch 27 different areas for where enemies can be. You only have to really watch just a couple of them, and I think that's the best way. That way you're not always getting shot in the back and shot from different angles and stuff. It's easy to focus on where the enemies could be, and it's not very overwhelming like it is in Modern Warfare. They say with 6v6, they have a warehouse with massive open fields with nowhere to hide and a sniper town to pick off those running through this open field. It also contains a river on one of the flanks. There's a clustered Russian city clutters with cars currently huge and could either get shrunk down or set to a higher player count. Literally the exact same that happened with Anaya's Palace. So what you're referring to there is how at launch Anaya's Palace was just like a 6v6 map, but that map is absolutely huge. And then, of course, they changed it to like a 10v10 map, and then even that was still way too little, so they actually ended up making it a ground war map, was what it should have been in the first place. And it continues by saying, obviously, on top of this, we now know of this tanks maps, Nuketown firing range, summit, jungle, a warehouse map, and the Russian city. That's already 7 maps, granted, may not all make it at launch, but are on the way at some point. He says a theory that DK Dynamite had and a few other good friends of him come up with is that maybe Treyarch was working on a futuristic game and they combined that with the past setting of Sledgehammer and Ravens, so it could be a sequel to Black Ops 3 and 4 or something like that, because the gameplay looked a bit futuristic. So the game could be set in the future, but it has flashbacks and stuff to the Cold War, which is the same as the rumor we heard last night. So kind of interesting though, why would Treyarch be making a futuristic game again? Like the community's been pretty adamant on we don't want futuristic games ever since Infinite Warfare. I mean, that was the biggest thing. Is the community was so upset with Infinite Warfare for being futuristic, and then we finally went back to World War II. The community liked it at first, and they're like, kind of boring. Black Ops 4 is good. It's a bit futuristic, so I mean, it depends what you go futuristic for. Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare, we have Exos, and even Black Ops 3, or like Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 2, where it's still boots on the ground, but it's kind of a little bit futuristic. Kind of, I don't know, depends which one it is, but that is the latest leaks and stuff we have for Call of Duty 2020. So that is what we have for multiplayer. Pretty crazy stuff though, dude. And speaking of multiplayer, we had a leak about a multiplayer beta, and I posted a video about this separately on my channel, so if you guys haven't gone and seen that, you guys should definitely go and do so. We're going to be talking about the multiplayer beta there and about the latest leaks, so make sure you guys check out that video. But that is it. That is the summary of all the leaks we've gotten so far regarding multiplayer and stuff. Really cool. I've got a whole bunch of other leaks and videos and stuff about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and I'm going to be going up on the channel a lot during this week and stuff. Plus, we also have talked that we're going to be getting a whole bunch more leaks and stuff and information about the game starting this week as well. So, what do you guys think about all this? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think about it being in a futuristic setting but having flashbacks to the Cold War? I think that's kind of interesting. But I think the most alarming thing about all these leaks and stuff is just that apparently it's going to be like Modern Warfare, but with things changed that people don't like. So, I mean, I think that's good, but honestly, I prefer to see Modern Warfare do that. I prefer to see Modern Warfare have a classic minimap and no skill-based matchmaking and all this stuff, rather than Treyarch going, hey, so we fixed Modern Warfare, and here's Modern Warfare again, just with things fixed. I don't want that. I just want the one game to be like that, and then Treyarch to go back to a traditional Black Ops game. So, things could always change, but as it stands, that is what this game is looking like right now in June of 2020. So there you guys go. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe if you're new around here. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you guys stay up to date with all the latest leaks, news, and information about Black Ops Cold War, Modern Warfare, and any other games on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.